But I interrupted you. Go back to this point, because I've been questioned in England. If you even talk to anybody on the street, that is criminal, because you're all prisoners. Steve Watson's, who lives in London, it's happened to him going to a concert with his girlfriend. They do this to everybody now. And describe foreigners in uniform hitting you.
Yeah, I know. It's outrageous.
You have footage of this.
I'm just going through my mind all the different times when police have arrested me under a public order offense for talking about the connection between big business and war, for talking about how only countries with oil seem to get invaded. And the police lie. They tell so many lies. They say, oh, a member of the public is now offended, so now we need to arrest you because you've offended someone. It's a hate crime. You know, there's Muslims here on the street, and you're talking about a future war with Iran. We need to arrest you. This could be a race hate crime, and it's just ridiculous. It is George Orwell's 1984.
Well, they arrested Robin Page 7 years ago, BBC reporter, because he used the word homosexual in a speech. They said that word is hateful. I mean, this is real.
I know. It blows my mind, Alex, but all we need to do is just keep doing what's right with zero compromise. And when you do what's right, the universe will help you. And for me, what is right is defending freedom. It's defending that human spirit, which will not bow down. And I will not bow down before any other man, because I'm a sentient, free human being. So they can bring all they want, but it's not going to work with me. And my job is just to make sure other people realize that they are free in their minds. It's just the physical world which is the challenge. And they need to make sure they're free in the physical world as well.
Well, I mean, look at how 5,000 years ago kings wore crowns, just newer versions of headdresses to say, I'm better than you, I'm the authority. Same thing with cops, big hats with big glistening signets on them and logos and big giant monolithic government buildings to send the message, we're the big government, you're little. They send that message by design to separate the government from the people, but specifically, and I've seen the videos of this, it's almost, I've seen it in New York with We Are Change. The cops that can barely speak English from all over the world, Chinese, Russian, you name it, Polish, Mexican, they literally can't speak English when they walk over and go, turn your camera off, I take you to jail, listen to me. And the government knowingly is hiring foreigners to do this. That's a big political issue in the U.S. and England. We need to start pointing this out. They're bringing the foreigners in to be our rulers.
Yeah, and they've done this throughout history. You know, in the Chinese, when the Tiananmen Square thing, you know, China's a country of like 200 different ethnicities. And what they did to Beijing, they brought in farmer troops from the rural areas who had no problem shooting people who weren't like them. And, you know, in Britain right now as well, you know, got all these people from different countries. They don't feel that same maybe bond with British people. So, yeah, they'll follow their orders. And, you know, as someone said, I can't remember who, you can always pay half the poor to kill the other half. And it's a sad state of affairs. And that's why we need to stay very vigilant. And as you say, Alex, just keep shining a light on this, keep showing people. But sometimes I despair because I can show people, like even the people closest to me, a lot of my work, and they go, and so what? Who cares? Like, it's not really happening because they've been, you know, dumbed down by Hollywood. And they think almost that the paramilitary black uniforms are cool because it's in a Beyonce video. Rihanna has got them dancing on stage with her. It's incredible when you go down the rabbit hole and you see how it's all connected. You start connecting the dots.
And you show them government documents where they're putting cancer viruses in the vaccines and they giggle. And then 5 years later, they're dying of cancer. It's still funny. Because it's a mind trick. It's Crime Stop from Orwell, where they decide it isn't a threat to them, and so they're part of the power structure.
Yeah, Alex, I had a very close friend of mine who was doing Love Police films with me. I'm gonna respect his privacy, but he got arrested, and he's got 3 children. And the police said, unless you comply with us and bow down and stop doing these films, we will get a psychiatrist here and section you, which means to keep you under the Mental Health Act. You will lose your children. And that's how they shut him up. And luckily, I don't have kids, but it is a psychological battle. And it makes me despair sometimes. But I'm very optimistic. I know we will win this. You wouldn't be doing your radio show. I wouldn't be doing my films.
Well, think of that tyranny. Think of that ultimate tyranny. It's like Gary Cooper had his son taken. And it was in the police report. They've taught their children not to trust the government, and the court said, we're taking them. I mean, you do not question your God. You don't do that in America. Since when do you have freedom of speech in America? You sit down, you shut up, and we're going to take your kids. But they're already taking them with the water and the food, folks. They've already got them. They're already soft killing them right now. But the good news is the people are breaking the spell, and we're not going along with it. So I mean, my God, that is Soviet-level tyranny. So they said, we're going to take your kids if you don't stop going out peacefully and speaking on the streets in England.
Yeah, his main message was everything is okay. He was a very spiritual man, still is. And he went out there just wanting to lower fear around people. And I don't know if they were physical with him, but they were certainly psychological in a Soviet way. And actually, just this week in Norway, a friend of mine said there's a doctor been thrown in a psychiatric institution for speaking out against the swine flu vaccine. And Norway is probably, you know, people don't know this, one of the last few truly communitarian communist countries in Europe. And it's mind-boggling. But, you know, we just need to stay strong, stay alive, realize we're all in this together. And I think, Alex, they will fail. The elites will fail because the system will collapse because you can't treat people like this, and people are realizing this. So I reckon it's maybe 2 or 3 years before there's utter chaos. And, you know, they try and bring about order out of chaos. That's the Illuminati motto. I think we need to bring about a bit of peaceful chaos out of their manufactured slave order. It's the only way. We need to get the universe spinning in different ways because as it stands now, it's not a world I want to bring any children into. So, you know, got to do what's right.
Think about that, though. They told him, people can go watch the videos, you're not going to go to a town square and talk to people and come up to police and say, we care about you, we're all humans together, we eat at the same restaurants, same grocery stores, our children are growing up, look at this police state, you know, let's care about each other. And that's just, we're taking your kids. You do not do that. I mean, you do not talk. You do not talk. Think of how evil those police are, that they think it's okay to terrorize someone for their children. They think of us literally as subhuman trash. And notice, as soon as the tyranny comes in, as soon as they've got enough people ready to oppress, the banks just steal everything. The system is robbing everyone, reducing us down to just groveling slaves. We're going to come back, talk to Frank, Mark, Bobby, Seth, and others. The next 2 short segments, we got another guest coming up with big solutions on the states' rights movement and a lot more. You'll want to stay with us. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.tv.